North Carolina vinyl picker here on a Saturday afternoon. I got my mind blown yesterday. I was in a charity shop not too far from here, and I found this. Holy freaking moly. I couldn't believe it. I was going through about 1,000 records, and I had to sit down. I couldn't believe it. So I went in, I checked everything. I checked the album. The album is minty. JT says, minty. Excuse me. The inner sleeve is in there. This album on Discogs last sold for $900 and some dollars. I paid 47 cents. It's my biggest find ever. Mind blown, I'm telling you, mind blown. Okay. The name of the band is Felt, and the name of the album is Felt. Haven't really done a bunch of research on the album. I know that it was made in Tennessee, but other than that, I don't know. And Dylan from Noble Records has talked about this album quite a few times. And there's a re-release of this. But this is not a re-release, people. This is the OG. Yes, the original. Put that sucker down there. I might play that later. And I found this there. Everybody in the vinyl community just about knows what the famous Charisma label. I thought it was a Genesis 45 at first. I said, oh man, did I find Silent Sun or something? Like a $500 45? No, it's not. It's some guy named Gary Shearston, who I never heard of, who does a Cole Porter song, I Get a Kick Out of You, from 74 on famous Charisma. And on here it says, thanks for Joff at last. Then in the back it says, love from Ann. So I don't know who this Ann and Joff were. Unless I think there was a Joff in the Genesis world. But I'm not sure on that one. So I for a quarter, 45s were a quarter. Sir Douglas Quintet. The only problem with this is the album inside was the Guess Who. So now I'm going to go back next week at this undisclosed honey hole, and I'm going to see if the album is there, maybe inside the Guess Who album, because I did remember seeing a Guess Who album there, but I already had it, so I didn't bother to pick it up. So I'm going to go back and see if they just kind of got swapped out. If not, you're talking like 1,000 to 1,200 records that I have to go through every one and pull every record out, unless it's loose, to find this album. But I want to find the album because I've always wanted to hear these guys. I heard they're really good. The Sir Douglas Quintet Mendocino. So there you go. I got the cover at least. I got one half of the equation, right? Then I found this one. Will the circle be unbroken? But sometimes, you know, when you're out hunting, what I always say, check the vinyl, make sure everything's cool. Or check your CD, make sure there's no scratches. Well, North Carolina vinyl picker didn't check the vinyl. I got home and one of the albums in here is cracked. But I only paid 47 cents for a double album. I thought this was the band. But again, I was wrong. I was wrong. It's a Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. So anyway, one of the albums is good. Sides 3 and 4, I think, are the ones that the album is cracked. So I don't know. Maybe I'll put that in the sale. See if somebody wants it for the cover and for the first album. Then I seen this one there, Valley of the Dolls. Yeah, seen that. That's Sharon Tate right there. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Find this here. I've always wanted a copy of this, and I found one yesterday for 59 cents. And then I seen this there. I'm like, what the heck is this doing in this little charity shop? A copy of Nectar, and it was better than the one I had, so I changed out and put the one I found yesterday. Looked like it had never been played. And I'll put the other copy up for sale. and I found this one, and I didn't know who it was, but I said, well, that looks pretty interesting. Looks like an 80s synth band, and that's what it is. It's not worth a ton of money. It's worth around 20 bucks. If anybody out there knows this or knows about this album, or write it in the comment section down below. It's called Fure Doot Doot, and it's from '83. So I don't know if it's post-punk or if it's just 80s synth. And I seen this one there, and I thought, oh, maybe I got something here. I was looking for the Shiloh album with Don Henley, but no such luck on that one. This one here is an album that is pretty similar to the Felt album. This was also done over in Nashville, and this looks like it's a Canadian press. If anybody knows about this band, write that down below there too. Houston. Houston, we have a problem. Not that Houston. That's all. That was my big roll for yesterday. All those records right there, all 7 of those records cost me what? $3.79, right? There you go. But the lady says, I only take a debit card if it's $5 over. I said, you know, I was thinking to myself, that Felt album is worth $1,000. I said, just go ahead and put $5 on my card. I ain't worried about it. That's what I told her. That's what I told her. So she was happy to get the extra cash for the shop. And so here we go. Fresh 50. You ready for a fresh 50? We're into the S's. And what a way to start the S's. And none other than SUPERTRAMP, their first album. This is before they made it big. This is before Crime of the Century, before Breakfast in America, before all of that. This is way back when they were more like a blues band. A lot of bands started that way in England. Imagine that. That's their first album. There's really no songs I know of to really talk about that's incredibly fantastic. And here you go, Indelibly Stamped, their second album. Again, before this album. And here comes the biggie. Here you go, Crime of the Century. And it's an original master recording. Imagine that. 1974 release. First pop music LP title, reissue by MoFi. Fact. I looked it up. This was released in 1977. So that's when the MoFi started. Because this was the first pop music LP to be reissued on MoFi. Now there could have been, I guess there could have been some, didn't say there's any other music before this that wasn't rock or pop. Then we're going into, this is probably my favorite. I love Crisis, What Crisis. I don't know why I love it so much. I've always loved this album. And it's a promo. It's a white label promo. And I love Soapbox Opera. And Ain't Nobody But Me, Sister Moonshine, Easy Does It. Then we have Even in the Quietest Moments. This one has Give a Little Bit, Lover Boy. Another great album. Then we got the biggie, Breakfast in America. And someone said if you turned it upside down, you can see, which looks like the Twin Towers over here, or something like to that effect. I don't know. Someone was saying that's what it. There you go, Breakfast in America. Paris, SUPERTRAMP live. This is a great live show. This has all their hits, except the first 2 albums. They don't have anything off the first 2 albums. They go back as early as Crime. Then we have Famous Last Words, the last album with Roger Hodgkins on it. It has Crazy, Old Brown Shoe, It's Raining Again, Bonnie. It's kind of it's not a real strong album, but it's an enjoyable album. And here's the first album without Roger Hodgkin, Brother, Where You Bound. And David Gilmour is on this album. And Free as a Bird. Then we're going to go, that's the end of Supertramp. I have one more of their CDs after that on releases. Then we have this one here, Sweet Cream. Them dogs, let me tell you. They don't bark all day long, and then when I go to do a show, they start acting up. Gotta have control. Okay, so here you go, Sweet Cream. Now this is a take on the Herb Alpert album with a black woman, and looks really nice. Yeah, I think so. She really pulls the cover off, that's for sure. That is I Don't Know What to Do. Sweet Cream and Other Delights. This one here is Sweet Water. It's a good band. Now we're going to talk about Syd Barrett. This is his self-titled album. I got this one, Patrick, from the Archivist, from his show, his record show, and they're going to have one tonight, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Wax, Rob the Wax, and Patrick, the Vinyl Archivist, and Harry from Harry's house, Harry's room. They're going to have a record show tonight. So check them out. They have great sales. They have great stuff. Every time I've gotten a record from any of them, they always get it to me right away. They're real reasonable on their prices. So check them out. 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you can check them out on the Wax's channel, Rob the Wax, or Patrick, the Vinyl Archivist. Syd Barrett and the Pink Floyd. This is a compilation album that is, I couldn't even find it in Discogs. So, I don't know much about that one. Here we go with Synergy. Larry Fast. I like all his albums. This was his first album. And this one's called Electronic Realizations of a Rock Orchestra. Then we have Sequencer. And Sequencer comes in the clear vinyl. Pretty cool. And then they did another copy of Sequencer on Sire. And this here is a UK. So the cover was different in the UK than it was in the States. That's just the regular black vinyl. Then we have Chords. This is probably my favorite Synergy album. This is a promo, and it's also white vinyl, clear vinyl. And then this came out as a re-release later on, a few years later, because it was a good seller. So they had to do a second run, I guess, of it. But it came out, it had the yellow stripe. And this one has a, I need to go ahead and fix that. Put another inner sleeve on that. Then we got Synergy Games. Put these up. Excuse me for a second. Then we have Synergy Audion. Then we have Synergy, the Jupiter Menace. I'm still missing a couple of his albums, but they're pretty pricey. One of them is called Semiconductor, and there's another one that I don't have. Then we're going to go right into T. Lavitz. We're going to start with the T's. T. Lavitz was with the Dixie Dregs. Then we have another one here from the West, T. Lavitz. He passed away. He was a really good keyboard player. And then we have T-Rex. Everybody knows Mark Bolan. This is Tanks. Oh no, this is not Tanks. This is Slider. This is the Slider. Well, where's Electric Warrior? Oh, here we go. Let's start off with this one. This one should be first. Here's Electric Warrior, Back to Black issue. Sounds really good. Then we have the slider. See, sometimes I get things corrected as we go here, don't I? And here's Tanks. Now this copy here is a little bit roached, but I got it super cheap, and it's a white label promo. Find another one of those. Those are my three favorite T-Rex albums, I suppose. Then we have Taylor Swifty. This is her folklore album. I like her last couple albums. They've been really like almost progressive, like she's channeling Joni Mitchell or something in her better later mid years, I would say, like Hajira, Hissing of Summer Lawns. But yeah, I like Taylor Swift, and so does the Prog Corner. Check that channel out. He has an awesome channel, Prog Corner. He loves Taylor Swift too. Tears for Fears, the Hurting. Songs from the Big Chair. Some 80s music. What were you listening to in the 80s there, North Carolina Vinyl Picker? Well, 80s wasn't my most popular, but I'm going to tell you, I keep pulling out records from the 80s, so I must have been enjoying music in the 80s because I wanted them all back in my collection, and I've just about found all the 80s music that I ever listened to. So there you go. I was listening to a lot of music in the 80s, so I got to retract all that. Here we go with Turgay Ripal Dal, After the Rain. I think I pronounced that right. Could be wrong. Down ECM. Anything on ECM, I'm going to pick it up and give it a listen. ECM records sound really good. That's what the wax said. Here we go. What we got here? Thomas Dolby, another 80s artist that I used to listen to all the time. The Golden Age of Wireless. This has Europa, Flying North, Weightless, Wind Power. Great album. 80s synth pop. That's what they call that. And of course we got Blinded by Science. And one of our submarines is missing. That's a 5-song EP, I believe. Yep, 5-song mini LP, they called them back in the day. Then we have the Golden Age of Wireless. This is the US release. The other one was the UK. Then we have the Flat Earth, which is my favorite album by him. His second album. Second full album. Then we have Aliens Ate My Buick, plus The Lost Toy People. This is a really cool album. It's really whacked out. Thomas Dolby. This is probably the 3 albums that I have of his that I care for. I bought another one on CD, but I really didn't care for it much. And here's Airhead, and that's from that last album I just showed you. Here's Three Dog Night. We're going to go down that rabbit hole. And this is the album, I think this is the album 1. But you can find it in 1, or you can find it as, this must be an OG, because later on the re-release had 1 on here. Because 1 was their big hit from this album. First song, first side. Most powerful songs, always the first song, first side of any album. That's what a band will do. They'll shock you. They'll put that #1 song out there. Well, this album was actually called 1, but when this one here was just called Three Dog Night with the names of the 3 lead guys in it. Great band, Three Dog Night. I love Three Dog Night. It's like Grand Funk and Loggins and Messina. You know, there's like 5 or 6 of them bands where I just want the full discography. I want it all. I don't want a greatest hits. I want them all. Linda Ronstadt's another one. Olivia Newton-John's another one. That's probably like 10 of them. Oh, here we go. Suitable for Framing. Three Dog Night. I like all their albums, so I don't want 16 greatest hits or 12 greatest hits. Or this one here is called Captured Live at the Forum. This one here is a German import. I found this in Park Avenue CDs in Orlando. Then we have It Ain't Easy. This one here is kind of roached. Looks like the dog got a hold of it, or a rat or something. I don't know. But hey, it plays good, looks really good. It's one of the first records I bought when I moved up here to Carolina. I think it was in a charity shop. That's what the Brits call them. Naturally, this one had the big hit on there, Joy to the World. Then we have Harmony. It's got Never Been to Spain, but I kind of like the music. Then we have Golden Biscuits. Oh, I just said we didn't need a greatest hits. Well, I got the greatest hits because I'm pretty much a completionist on most bands. I tried to be. Some of them are hard to find, especially the older stuff. So there you go. There's your 7 Separate Fools. Some of these aren't easy to find anymore. So a lot of them I picked up cheap though. Cyan, I guess that's how you pronounce that. I think that ends my Three Dog Night. No, one more. This one here's a special military personnel edition. Three Dog Night, their greatest recordings, 1978. This one here is pretty cool. Tim Buckley. Just getting into him this year. Another one of them artists that Mazzy turned me on to. Goodbye and Hello. Happy Sad. Only got 2 albums by him so far, but I'm working on it. This one here, oh, we're going to talk about Tomita. Snowflakes Are Dancing. It's on that RCA Red Seal. And Pictures at an Exhibition. Of course, Emerson, Lake and Palmer did this as well. Yeah, I think it's Mussorgsky. Yeah, he was the original guy that did it a long time ago. And Tomita, this is a long time ago, and the Emerson, Lake and Palmer is a long time ago. So pretty much all a long time ago. So yeah. So the next show tomorrow night, I'm gonna go ahead. We'll do the teas. We'll finish up the teas, and we're gonna move right into the rest. I'm hoping to knock this out by next week. Trying not to drag this on too long. But I know I've had a lot of people say they really love doing they love watching the shows, and they can't wait for the next one. So once we get done with this, I got a bunch of stuff planned. Support those troops out there. Everybody be good. And we'll see you tomorrow on the next adventures of the North Carolina Vinyl Picker. And let me show you that album one more time here. Let me show you that incredible find I got. Felt. Like I say, find another one. I never thought I'd find this one. So now there's hope for me to find that Shiloh album. That Don Henley Shiloh album. There's hope. Because if I can find that, I should be able to find the other one. And I don't want to pay $300, $500 on eBay for a copy of Shiloh. So I'd rather find it for $1. Anyway, you all have a good day out there. And we'll be talking to you soon. And don't forget, tonight is Patrick and Wax's record sale. It's going to be on 6 o'clock on the East Coast, 3 o'clock on the West Coast. And join in the fun and buy some records. Buy lots of records. They have great records. And they get them out to you really fast. And you'll have the records within a week. And the prices are always good. So support the vinyl community and support those guys. I wish more people would sell records in the vinyl community. It would be a good thing. Be a good thing, especially now. Everybody needs a little side hustle with the way the economy's going. So take care out there, and we'll be talking to you. We'll see you tomorrow. 24 minutes, not too bad.